ProPublica did an investigation into Facebook ads and the different categories that people looking to advertise their products or services can list their ads under. Now, keep in mind that these categories are usually generated through an algorithm, and that algorithm has to do with what people list as their interests on Facebook. Now, let's see what ProPublica found. Until this week, when we asked Facebook about it, the world's largest social network enabled advertisers to direct their pitches to the news feeds of almost 2,300 people who expressed interest in the topics of Jew hater, how to burn Jews, or history of why Jews ruin the world. So those were actual ad categories on Facebook that advertisers could click on if they want to target certain groups of people, okay? So this means that there are individuals out there who listed those things as their interest.
What are you guys doing? That's like the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I mean, even if you want to cut them every benefit of the doubt that they didn't do enough diligence or what, I mean, you got to catch that, man. This, you can't, I mean, you guys have billions upon billions of dollars. You can't in any way allow that on your site. And now what are they going to do? Of course, they're going to do an overreaction. Right. So if you say Jewish in anything on your profile page, they're going to demonetize it or whatever, right? No, I'm running a synagogue. Yeah, whatever, I'm just being safe. No, do your job, do your job. It's insane that you had categories like that. And I'd be very curious who advertised on those.
Right, so okay. That is unclear because remember, this is just an investigation that unveiled these categories, right? And those categories, again, are created by an algorithm based on what people list as their interests on their Facebook profiles. Now, of course, the investigative reporters here wanted to test this to make sure that those categories did in fact exist. And so here's what ProPublica writes about that. To test if these ad categories were real, we paid $30 to target those groups with 3 promoted posts in which a ProPublica article or post was displayed in their news feeds. Facebook approved all 3 ads within 15 minutes, okay? So after we contacted Facebook, it removed the anti-Semitic categories, which were created by the algorithm rather than by people. ProPublica continues to write, in all likelihood, the ad categories that were spotted were automatically generated because people had listed those anti-Semitic themes on their Facebook profiles as an interest, an employer, or a field of study. Facebook's algorithm automatically transforms people's declared interests into advertising categories. That doesn't really sound like a sophisticated model. No. You know, considering how huge Facebook is and how successful it is, I feel like they need to come up with a better model. Like, I hear you, it's better to have algorithms take charge instead of hiring more people to do things properly, but there's gotta be a happy medium.
It's like when you walk into a bank and all of the people are like so happy to see you and you get that bank account and then you never speak to a person again from that moment on. Yeah. That's how Facebook is. My like page, I've been locked out of it, I've been hacked. And I've emailed Facebook over 100 times and I always get an automated response because there aren't people behind it anymore. It's an algorithm, like they say, or algorithms. To connect with a human being that works there, you have to be Russian. I mean, I don't know, like how do you connect to people on Facebook?
That's true, yeah.
That's so funny, okay. So, all right, look, let me defend algorithms a little bit and give what I consider to be a balanced look. So they need algorithms. You can't hire enough people to track. What do they have? 1.6 billion users now. And think about all the content that 1.6 billion people create, because they're not just doing one thing, they're doing multiple things, usually per day on Facebook. So I don't think people are making a case that you shouldn't have algorithms. Of course you need that, right? And so everybody's aware of that. But there's some stuff that it's incumbent upon them to serve their customers better that they put a human touch on. So is it to say that algorithms should never create ad categories? I wouldn't even say that. But should you have a number of employees scouring that to make sure that they're appropriate?
Yeah.
I think that they would probably concede now, yes, that was a massive mistake.
Yeah, so I think that would be a good middle ground. If you want to rely on the algorithms to create these ad categories, that's fine, but you need at least like a small group of people to oversee this process and just periodically type in words like Jew hate or whatever it is that these terrible people list as their interest on their freaking Facebook profile. Jesus Christ, people are vicious. Just make sure that you look through this stuff and make sure that there's nothing objectionable or racist, whatever it is.
Yeah, and so guys, we're not asking Facebook to look through everybody's baby pictures and say, is it objectionable, not objectionable, or their post, is it objectionable, not objectionable. There's plenty of objectionable stuff on Facebook, that's life. But the ad categories, although they could be significant, they've got to be a manageable number that human beings can actually eyeball. Yeah. Because if you think you just get rid of the 3 anti-Semitic ones now and problem solved, I can assure you it's not. You think there's not Muslim hater out there?
You know what's so crazy though? Through this investigation, ProPublica did not find the same type of ad categories for Muslims. They found the anti-Semitic stuff, but not the Islamophobic stuff.
Yeah, so that, and maybe there isn't, maybe they haven't gotten around to it yet, and it's not a they, it's an algorithm. And again, it just, Mark Zuckerberg runs Facebook. They didn't write on purpose Jew hater. It was the computer that did it. We're looking for better safeguards, okay? So, you know, I don't know that ProPublica looked at every single thing, on race, on all the different categories. And it's possible that they missed stuff too. And so if they didn't find anything on Islamophobia, great, awesome. I'm surprised, but wonderful, right? And by the way, hate crimes are tracked, and we think, hey, they spiked on Muslims, and they did, and Latinos, and yes, that's true. But oftentimes, still leading in those categories is anti-Semitic attacks, and that never goes away. And look at it now. I mean, there aren't that many conspiracy theories about how the Hindus run the world or the Muslims run the world. They're like, Muslims are bad, they're terrible, they're by their nature this, that, etc. Right? But do they run the world? Nah, not really, right? But the thing about the Jews running the world and the banks and the media and all that stuff never goes away, and it's apparently so prevalent. The algorithm's like, boy, this is really popular. So you got to safeguard it, man. You can't. And then in terms of the interactions that people have, you're not alone, Aida, in having that frustration with not being able to reach a human.
Oh man.
And look, I know that they can't run after 1.6 billion people because they might have to hire 1.6 billion people to run after them. But at the same time, there's got to be a little bit better way so that people aren't pulling their hair out when something goes wrong and they can't get a response. So it's a giant enterprise and giant problems, but we got to start tackling these. Help us build independent media. Become a member of the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.